And we're going to slowly begin by integrating the breath with pink waves of air plasma. Washing across the body. Diamond sun templating emerges through the heart center, expanding and opening through the vertical pillar, through your body, through your structure, accessing in through each dimensional field, charging, powering, purifying. Heat flowing through the body. As we draw our consciousness down into the base of the spine, opening up the mind to the superconscious as it begins to neutralize. Opening the channels, allowing the flow of channel information to move through the clogs, the blocks. Yakurasmatapunya mora. Satrashna snai yikirashna asyamya te takirasna atapuna moya. Releasing self-doubt. Osyana tiakrasmatapunya mohora. And immediately, what I'm seeing here is a bird's eye view of London. Which is then extending to the entirety of the UK grid domain. And seeing diamond shielding expand through each individual present. And run as an arcing system over the UK domain. Creating a templating of diamond sun frequency running through the Albion body. And expanding across the lattice grid weave of the UK. Crystal tonation expands and blends through the depths of your own infrastructure and across the UK. Correlation. and begins to release out blackened smoke, black liquid, dark black to red gradients, nefarious energetics begin to release sinister feelings, and I would say the darkened chaos, not so much chaos, but because it's occult, it's undercover. Although not really, but you know what I mean. And what I'm also seeing release here is the structure of tentacles, an inversion within a Templar system, a Templar system. And I'm seeing this run from the back of the neck all the way down through the spinal column, down through the right side body. So as this spins, the right side is beginning to release, or the right side is releasing at an accelerated rate. And really feeling this coming up through the root fields. And this is releasing a lot of impatience. It's a lot of fear. A lot of panic to get something done, to get something locked down. And it's the fear of lack of time, or the perceived lack of time. Okay, I'm feeling all of the neck crack here, all down the right side of the neck, and the left side of the neck as well. Left side of the neck is seizing up a lot more, actually. And where we're being given the symbol of a white rose. Placed through the spinal column of the body, particularly through the heart. And as this is coming in, I'm feeling tension release through the temples. Onya Dramnai Masmia Koreshosiot. And I feel this coming in as like the strength of purification, the devotion and connection to source. But what it is, it's also a purification of the mind. It's a purification of the perceptions, and it's a purification of the lines that carry the Kundalini flow up to restore the pineal thalamus, hypothalamus. It's where perception overload and processing overload has been taking place. The purification through the rose, moving through all of the energetics to collapse here. And we're going to see this connect into the grid network as well. Mm. What I'm also picking up through the perceptions here as well is a lot of overthinking, over questioning, and over reactivity. It's going into a state of kind of hypervigilance. So it's always kind of looking over the shoulder. It's always being in suspect rather than in bliss. It's looking for the next danger and threat. Okay. And as this is opening and expanding further, it's now connecting through the peripheral nervous system and the centralized nervous system as well. where I'm just beginning to see rainbow light signatures in pastel hues progressing and connecting through the aurora networks, the galactic grid network. Sending in light to build through the structure, build through the latitude and longitude of the United Kingdom, the Albion body, your individual body. And just feeling that bliss expansion moving in. Neutralizing the mind wave fields. Expanding through the fields, expanding through the body. I'm really just now starting to crumble and collapse out any metallic infiltration, any grey tone, any heavy, hard shards of metal is what I'm seeing release here. And this I would akin to be like artificial infiltration, this inorganic, synthetic substances. Purifying and clearing the body. And what we really want to do, or aim to do as well, is to get your body so comfortable, yourself so secure, so comfortable, that your subconscious rises, the feminine rises to allow visual aid to expand into awareness. And it really does come in from a place of hypervigilance that blocks the subconscious from rising. It blocks the awareness from expanding because it is remaining in fear, it's remaining in threat mode and detection. And we do that by dropping deeper into the body. Feeling the space. Within you open and expand. So the next thing I'm seeing are the founder races coming in here. And I can hear the sounds of the source angelic and the primal sound waves, fields, birth point of creation, beginning with a vibration, blending through from the higher harmonies, down and working repair into the field foundations, into the emotional fields and mental field. So as we connected into the emotional field, I also just saw a fleur-de-lis symbol. And it felt very controlling. It felt like a commanding of the presence, a commanding of your space. We're going to just move to dissolve this fleur-de-lis. You'll see this typically on most monarch templates. It's the symbol of the cubs, of the brownies, well, the Cub Scout thingies. Just working to cleanse and clear through this grid system of any child abuse as well. This is very important at the moment. I can feel a lot of this coming up. I can feel the fear. And this is very much connected into with what has gone on over this weekend in the UK. And just experiencing the heat of source moving through the body into the land mass as we work to repair, claiming back the land, claiming back our bodies, commanding the presence of the torture, to extract and release. Releasing the fear, releasing the dread, releasing the terror. Yakuras matpunya mora, asinya de tahia grishmis miananai yatrasnat mora. Incredible heat coming through the back of the heart here. Expansion and opening through the heart. compassionate awareness filling into the space, into the grids, restoring the nervous system. And I'm also seeing a lot of water, sapphire water, washing in from the heavens down as the source angelic, the Elohai, founder races, stand around the country in a circle, connecting through the levels and the layers from the heavens to the earth. And as it's coming in through these beings of light, the connection begins to crumble. The artificial, the negative infrastructure implemented through the layers of the earth body and through the etheric architecture of the negative grid infrastructure, purifying with the sword of Excalibur. And then flashing with illumination and expanding across the lands, opening up through the nodal points, eruptions of volcanic crystal light expand through the nodes and then wash through the ley line infrastructures, purifying the lines of the ley. Releasing soul entrapment from the land. Releasing trauma, releasing devastation. Releasing paralysis. It's that kind of freeze, fight, flight, freeze, where the exhaustion of the fight or flight responses within the nervous system have been so overdone that the body just goes into freeze. This is what I feel releasing at the moment. And this is what I feel released through the ley lines. I feel it released through the grid systems, and I'm feeling it released through the individual nervous system. Peripheral and centralize, and I'm also feeling this response release from the muscle memory, releasing from the emotional body. And you may start feeling tension release from the chest, from the heart, from the intercostal muscles, from the solar plexus, the psoas muscle, and the diaphragm. The base of the spine opening out into the hip joints. This is very tight here. And I'm also feeling it coming down over the legs as well. Releasing out the fear response. Ja, toras makieras na taposhni nora. And it's also the dissociation as well. So the fear response I'm feeling particularly coming in through the crown of the head, through the top part of the head. And I'm feeling this interplay and interlink into the mental field. And it's almost as if, number one, dissociation running through the mind to prevent layers of processing. When in complete denial. So we release out the denial as well, the avoidance and the denial. And then this is also tying into an amnesiac barrier or an amnesiac layer within the mental emotional interplay as well. And that's when the emotions become too much, that it shuts the mind off from focusing and concentrating and processing as well. So we've got dissociation, amnesiac barrier, all acting as prevention of processing. And I just feel to reiterate here as well, it's completely safe to process your emotions in any state, no matter how heavy they are, no matter how scary they appear. When you're in that space of release and process, that is your intention. You can't bring anything else into the space with you. You can't bring anything negative into your space when it is your intention to release and let go. We're going to just extend this clearing all the way through ritual timelines. And you can also just scan your own fields as well. If you hold any resonance to previous live ritual tags or ritual participation, within your own grail line. And I'm just seeing the most beautiful crystal diamond crucifix. It's not even like a crucifix because it's sacred. It feels like Christed architecture. It is Christed architecture. Merging in and moving into your body, into your being, as we update through the 12-strand DNA template. We update through the 12-sphere universal tree of life blueprint. And we build in this divine light architecture. Into the 4th sphere, heart chakra, divine light architecture updating. Extending through each field and updating through each field as we work to resurrect and purify, building the houses of Christ. Releasing out threat. And you can just set your own little affirmation here and sacred decree of moving back completely into divinity, pledging allegiance to the divine creator source. And giving yourself to serve for the light and the light only, as we release out purgatory, guilt, shame, self-flagellation, self-persecution. And releasing any sorrow, devastation, any separation in this moment, any longing. Bringing in compassion and forgiveness and identifying where we have been manipulated before in the past, we no longer will be. And also seeing this crested symbol code aligning into the body of Earth. Just also feeling a lot of fear moving through the back side of the heart here. And seeing rich tones of emerald rebuild. Releasing suspension, releasing mental bondage. And we move through reintegration, resurrection through the vertical axis. Yamasna kirasnat pushmimura sutia drasni siya kirasnashnasnaya. Rotating through the horizontal, undulations of white expand through the body as white spheres blend and restructure through the center point, expanding, 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 purifying through each level, each layer, restoring and resurrecting fallen arcs, building the channels, assembling the DNA, illuminating flame letter sequencing Yagaras Mataporyadora. Pivoting the body, reorientation, phase shift, lifting inhalation, updating through the prophecies, white star of Polaris, illumination, expanding, correcting, rewriting the prophecies, yatarana yatara, si quieres matapush mimora asiana na yikyorashno usioporan, and blending through into the DNA. The light of Polaris star expands and opens, resequencing and reordering, and illuminating the writing, the scripture within the DNA palette. Updating through all fields, updating through all localized grids. And stealing forward now through all levels or layers of light. Stealing forward through all bodies, stealing forward through the breath of the divine I am. Presence. Restoring the light to the inner being. Thank you so much. That was lovely.